So recently I was quite curious. Of course I've been into Bounty Hunter quite a while now. I've always sold my tier 10 emblems to the store and then usually bought a variety of items, not really knowing what the best item was. I always told myself that I'd try and find the most sort of efficient one to buy, but never actually got around to it. So this video I wanted to have a look as to what is the best items to buy with your Bounty Hunter points. So recently there was this video on SparkMac, I think it was, or Chris Archie, one of them, where the guy bought dark bow paints. So I did all this just to find out what I would buy. It's actually proved to give me quite good results, so I thought I'd share it. So as you can see on my screen, the dark bow paints, the white one actually didn't sell. I put it in for like 300k and it still didn't sell, so I'm assuming that there's not many people buying and selling it at the moment, so it'll be sort of inaccurate to put that item listed. So the dark bow paint, I bought it for 50k and it sold for 40k. That's insta sell, insta buy, by the way. The green one I bought for 129k and it sold for 82k. The yellow I also bought for 129k and it sold for 73k. So bear them figures in mind, and also bear in mind that they cost 500k each from the store, as opposed to the ones that I'm going to say later in this video. So for this video I had a look at the best 10 items which I've seen people buy and which I bought myself, bearing in mind the G prices, how active they're bought and sold, and also the points that it requires to buy it from the shop. So I'm not going to go through every item and say how much it is, but I'm going to put a table on the screen. The listed BH points are just how much it takes to buy from the shop. The current Insta G price is how much it Insta buys for in the G. Insta sell price is obviously how much it instant sells for in the G. And the increased G sell price is almost like an idea as to how much, if you leave your items in for the G for an extra half an hour, they will sell for more. I just wanted to prove this in this video, so I left it in for an extra half an hour. The lowest con multiple of all of these items that I bought was actually 187 million. And obviously I didn't have 187, well, even 1.8 billion points to spend. What I did was the sort of odd numbers that you see, so for example the 192,000 and 234,000 and also the 360. What I did is I just added percentages to them just to make it equivalent to the actual number that I got from the rest of them. So as you can see from this table that I made, each of the items that I said, I then bought 300,000 points worth of every single item, so all of the 10 items. I then insta sold them in the G. I then bought them again, and then did the increased G time, which as you can see at the bottom is I left everything in for an extra half an hour. It did take a while because I had to lower the limits of everything just so it did sell within the half an hour. But of course it is important to note that if you do leave it for an extra couple of even hours or even overnight, you will get more money than what is listed here. Also another thing to note is the G prices of course fluctuate, so bear that in mind, but they wouldn't change that much. The main column to note here is the coins per point on the right hand side. Coins per point instant is the insta price that I sold at, and coins per point increased is the increased points that I sold it at. As you can see here, the Dragon Skimitar, for example, insta sold for 66.7k, and then the increased price was 67.2k. For example, the Rune Plate Legs plus 56% was insta sell for 64k, and then increased for 64.6k. I'm not going to go through every single one, but you can see the sort of margins that you've got here. Also another thing to note here, the Anarchol tabs, the Goric tabs, the Karalanga tabs and the Ring of Wolf scrolls all had rather large margins between the buy and sell insta prices. This was because of course they're less traded. This is of course where the margins come along, but as you can see the more traded items such as the Berserker Helm, the Nezi Helm, have a lot smaller margin. So as you can see, quite conclusive results. The best ones to buy from the shop was the tabs and the Ring of Wealth scrolls. However, of course, as I just said, these are less traded, so they will take longer to sell. However, if you are after more of a quick sell, then I'd recommend either the Berserker Helm or the Bolt Rack. As you can see, they're quite good coins per point. However, another thing to note with the Bolt Racks and the Rune Arrows, in fact all of the shop, you can actually only buy 10 at a time. So the Bolt Racks and Rune Arrows do take a long time to buy. Also, so do the tabs. So if you are looking for sort of quick prices, I would recommend going towards the Berserker Helms. Even sort of the Rune Plate Legs were quite good, Nezi Helm. All them sort of regularly traded items were quite balanced, so it doesn't really matter which one you do. If I had to choose one, it would be the Berserker Helm, just because you know, a lot of Berserker players use them, and they have a lot of coins per point. both increased and insta sell price. So it's quite a good flip margin. However, if you have more time and want to obviously make more money, then the tabs and the scrolls are the best option to go with. However, also if you have more time to buy them, I'd recommend going with the bolt rank, as this was quite a good thing to buy for insta selling, just because they go for quite a high price compared to the points that it costs to buy it from the shop. So in conclusion, the best item to buy if you're in a rush or if you don't have many points is definitely Berserker Helm. If you have more time actually buying the items, however you do want to insta sell them, I'd recommend going with the bolt racks. But if you do have a lot of time and you, for example, want to sell them overnight, I'd recommend going with the tabs. If it's to choose one, I'd go with the Carangler, but they're all just as good as each other because they're used quite consistently by PKers. However, they do take a long time to sell, but what you will find is if you put them in the GE, they will sell in big bulks, so for example 100 or even 50. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, or if you have any corrections that I've done wrong, also leave them down in the comments. I'll put the guides or screenshots of the tables that I've made in the description, so have a look at that. Of course, if GE prices do change quite dramatically, then obviously the prices will vary. I doubt that will happen, as to all the items that I tested are consistently sold and bought in the GE, and are at quite a balanced price right now. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this video entertaining or even informative, and that's just about it. See ya.